think it's true for most parents. You want your kids to turn into happy, hardworking, compassionate, creative adults. Easy enough, right? Hardly. But that outcome is exactly what Dr. Kenneth Ginsburg writes about. He'll be in Omaha coming up soon, March 2nd, from Completely Kids and Lawless. And Catherine Mahoney has helped put this whole event together. It's nice to have both of you here for the first time, which is kind of crazy because we talk about Completely Kids, like in terms of fundraisers and all of these things that are happening throughout the year. But maybe we get lost in terms of your mission. So tell us about the organization and who you help most.
Yeah, so the bulk of what Completely Kids does is after-school programs, mostly for kids that are living in poverty. So a majority of our families make less than $20,000 a year, and the average family size is 4 or 5. So you're looking at families that are really struggling, and the effects that has on kids, from education to academics to just experiences and social skills, is kind of what Completely Kids works to combat.
What are some of the programs? Give me like a feather in your cap. If you're on an airplane next to somebody who has no idea what you do and you really want to brag about the success, what's one program you'd point to?
I would brag about the success we've had with kids academically and with attendance. So because kids are in our programs, they attend school more and they do better in school than kids that are not.
Wow, that's huge,
Yeah.
right? That's huge, not just today. Let's think about those kids going on to college and having successful careers. And I mean, it's not, to me, it's not about today, what you're doing at Completely Kids. This luncheon, how did it start initially? It's hardly new, 17 years.
Yeah, I was going to say it's hardly new. You know, Completely Kids really wanted to provide an opportunity to provide an educational chance for anybody in the community to come learn about something that they can do to better the lives of their kids. We're all about kids. We want every kid to be successful, whether they're in our program or just otherwise.
I see a book in front of you from Dr. Ginsburg.
Yeah.
Why him? What was it about his expertise that you thought would play well to parents and doctors? I mean, anybody who relates to kids locally.
He's done a lot with adolescents, and I think in the last couple years, and authors we've brought in, has been a lot more about younger kids, and we really wanted to have somebody who had an expertise with adolescents. I think that's I can't say because my son is only 18 months old, but I think that is a time when parenting becomes even more trying, and I think that he has some really, really great advice that's really practical about things you can do, the ways you can talk to your child to kind of navigate that time.
I mean, raising kids to thrive, yes. Balancing love with expectations, yes. And protection with trust, yes. I mean, every parent, I feel like this is it. This is what they're chasing and trying to get there. I mean, people say, well, you have a child, you don't get a manual, but this is sort of close as he shares his experience. You've read the book, Catherine. What did you make of it?
I completely agree with Ann in so much as this one focuses a little bit more on teenagers, but really Dr. Ginsburg offers useful information for those parents with young children as they navigate that path towards teenagers and even on to young adults. The other thing that I thought was really fantastic about this book is that 2 of the chapters were written by his teenage twin daughters. And he's also interviewed hundreds and hundreds of kids from across the country who have diverse backgrounds. And when you read what these kids are thinking about, it offers some insight as to what your own children might be thinking.
And if you could make a pitch for who should attend this event, I mean, we've touched on it a little bit, but who does benefit most from it?
Anybody who wants to make the lives of children better, doctors, teachers, parents, just really anybody. I'm really excited about him coming. I think that he just says some really, really thoughtful things about parents being careful about what they say to their kids, and I think that applies to someone who has an 18-month-old all the way to someone who has a teenager.
What do you mean? Like it's about the approach and what
It's
not
about
to
the
say?
approach, yeah, and it's about being thoughtful about what you're saying and how that can impact your child, and loving unconditionally and praising their effort as opposed to just looking at their grades and whether or not they did well in that sport, but really thinking about kind of how hard they're working and what they're doing and kind of teaching them to have perseverance. And
you're nodding your head, Catherine. Is there something here that's resonating with you, what she's saying?
Yes. Everything that I read in the book is exactly how she is describing it. He talks about his method of parenting, which is called lighthouse parenting, and he says that you have to have unconditional love, but at the same time set some rather, tight parameters, but still have high expectations and still offer trust, but not too much trust. And it's hard to balance all those things as a parent. And clearly, children's needs change from the time they're young to the time that they're a young adult, but your method of parenting needs to remain consistent, even though you have to expand your parameters and change with them.
Well, and two, I feel like a lot of parents have guilt about doing one thing over another, or did I, and you question yourself, did I do it right? And people, you get one shot at it. And so you're just constantly questioning and sort of that stress inside, like, am I even on the right track here? And you don't know sometimes until like years into it, when your kids look back at you. So the best way to make reservations, as you were saying, Catherine, I don't know, but we've got the website completelykids.org. We've got a phone number there too. Tickets available in both places?
Yes.
397-5809, and then completelykids.org. The event is on March 2nd, so that's when Dr. Ginsburg is coming into Omaha. But not everybody can come to that. If they want to connect with the organization beyond that event, what are your needs?
We have great opportunities for volunteering. We also are always looking for people to do different drives for supplies that we need for our kids, whether that's school supplies for the school year, coats for the winter, Christmas presents around the holidays. There's always a way to get involved.
And you can do it online, completelykids.org. Thank you both for joining us. We appreciate it. Hope the second is well attended and a huge success.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.